Morrie closed his eyes. I know it. You mustn't be afraid of my dying. I've had a good life, and we all know it's going to happen. I maybe have 4 or 5 months. Come on, I said, nervously. Nobody can say. I can, he said softly. There's even a little test. A doctor showed me. A test? Inhale a few times. I did as he said. Now, once more. But this time, when you exhale, count as many numbers as you can before you take another breath. I quickly exhaled the numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I reached 70 before my breath was gone. Good, Morrie said. You have healthy lungs. Now, watch what I do. He inhaled, then began his number count in a soft, wobbly voice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. He stopped, gasping for air. When the doctor first asked me to do this, I could reach 23. Now it's 18. He closed his eyes, shook his head. My tank is almost empty. I tapped my tight note nervously. That was enough for one afternoon. Come back and see your old professor, Moore said. When I hugged him goodbye, I promised I would, and I tried not to think about the last time I promised this. In the campus bookstore, I shopped for the items on Moore's reading list. I purchased books that I never knew existed. Titles such as Youth, Identity and Crisis, I and the Divided Self. Before college, I did not know the study of human relations could be considered surely. Until I met Morrie. I did not believe it. But his passion for books is real and contagious. We begin to talk seriously sometimes after class when the room has emptied. He asked me questions about my life, then quote lines from Eric Fromm, Martin Buber, Erik Erikson. Often he defers to their words, footnoting his own advice, even though he obviously thought the same thing himself. It is at this time that I realized he is indeed a professor, not an uncle. One afternoon, I'm complaining about the confusion of my age. What is expected of me versus what I want for myself. Have I told you about the tension of opposites? He says. The tension of opposite? Life is a series of pulls back and forth. You want to do one thing, but you are bound to do something else. Something hurts you, yet you know it shouldn't. You take certain things for granted, even when you know you should never take anything for granted. a tension of opposite, like a pull on a rubber band, and most of us live somewhere in the middle. Sounds like a wrestling match. I said, a wrestling match. He laughs. Yes, you could describe you could describe life that way. So which side wins, I ask? Which side wins? He smiles at me, the crinkled eyes, the crockled teeth. Love wins. Love always wins. Taking attendance. I flew to London a few weeks later. I was covering Wimbledon, the world's premier tennis competition, and one of the few events I go to where the crowd never boos and no one is drunk in the parking lot. England was warm and cloudy, and each morning I walked the tree-lined street near the tennis court, passing teenagers queued up for leftover ticket and vendors selling strawberries and cream. Outside the gates was a newsstand that sold a half dozen colorful British tabloids featuring photos of topless women, paparazzi pictures of the royal family, horoscopes, sports, lottery contests, and a wee bit of actual news. Their top headline of the day was written on a small chalkboard that leaned against the latest stack of papers, and usually read something like Dinah in Row with Charles, or Gaza to Team, give me millions. People scooped up this tabloid, devoured their gossip, and on previous trips to England, I had always done the same. But now, for some reason, I found myself thinking about Morrie whenever I read anything silly or mindless. I kept picturing him there, in the house with the Japanese maple and the hardwood floors, counting his breath, squeezing out every moment with his loved ones, while I spent so many hours on things that meant absolutely nothing to me personally. Movie stars, supermodels, the latest noise out of Princess Di or Madonna or John F. Kennedy Jr. In a strange way. I envied the quality of Morrie's time, even as even as even as I lamented its diminishing supply. Why did we bother with all the distraction we did? Back home, the O.J. Simpson trial was in full swing, and there were people who surrendered their entire lunch hour watching it, then tapped the rest so they could watch more at night. They didn't know O.J. Simpson. They didn't know anyone involved in the case. Yet they gave up days and weekends of their lives addicted to someone else's drama. I remembered what Morrie said during our visit. The culture we have does not make people feel good about themselves. And you have to be strong enough to say if the culture doesn't work. Don't buy it. Morrie, true to this word, had developed his own culture long before he got sick. Discussion groups, walks with friends, dancing to his music in the Harbor Square Church. He started a project called Greenhouse where poor people could receive mental health service. He read books to find new ideas for his classes, visited with colleagues, kept up with old students, wrote letters to distant friends. He took more time eating and looking at nature and wasted no time in front of TV sitcoms or movie of the week. He had created a cocoon of human activities, conversation, interaction, affection, and it filled his life like an overflowing soup bowl.